Do we know how many people are going to be laid off at this particular time? Do we have a number that we are working with?
Madam Superintendent?
Through the chair, yes, we actually have a slide that we can bring up.
Oh, sure, okay.
Our attrition numbers, that would be slide 2. Dr. Koo, if you would like to speak to this briefly. Thank you.
So through the chair, you'll see these numbers here are the recommended cuts that we made, and it's broken down by elementary and secondary cuts as well as our special education and support services. So the recommended cuts was 76 and 70, and to date, and these are numbers are just coming in, and I'm cautious to say that these numbers are still coming in as we're completing our last transfer list, and we put positions out there. We've already had 13 recall, and these are numbers that are complete recall, so we already have them back in the system. The principals have completed what we call the PAs. And it's 13 for elementary, secondary, and 11 for our special education. And we do anticipate these numbers to continue to go up.
Okay, thank you.
Go up, excuse through the chair,
Yeah,
go
Madam
up in the
Chair.
manner that they'll be hired back or they'll be laid off?
Through the chair, I'm sorry, can you ask that one more time?
You
She's
gave us
basically saying-
numbers of 13 and 11. So were they called back?
Yes, those are folks who were initially given non-renewal letters that as we put positions out, principals we're recalling them back. So as we reconcile positions, so as folks are retiring or resigning or we're getting more information, we are recalling those non-renewal folks back to work.
So right now, we have 24, through the chair, right now we have 24 that were called back out of the 146 that we laid off, so we're at a number of 122 that will be laid off?
So we sent non-renewal letters to all of the folks here.
I'm sorry?
We sent non-renewal letters to all of the folks here, and we then had our last transfer list that just was completed about 2 weeks ago. And then we also released open positions as positions reconcile themselves. And so as we're doing that, folks are applying and we're recalling folks back and we're rehiring folks back as those positions are going out.
So what number are we at
So-
this point in time?
So it would be the 146 minus the 24, if I do my math really quickly. Right now, we're at 122.
Two? So what's the potential of the 122 coming back?
I think it's really good. I would say more than half, if I were to take a best guess. We are releasing more positions out on Monday, as we had promised everybody. We said to everyone who was non-renewed, we created a FAQ that I think I shared at one of the Friday memos, that the first group of positions that we could release would be June 7th, and the second would be June 24th. And the reason why we did that is we had to wait for the last transfer list to be completed before we could release positions from that we can reconcile.
Do we have the number of employees that have resigned?
We do. I can get that for you. As I'm looking for, I believe we're, since June 1st, between retirements and resignations and other decisions, we were close to about 42.
How many resigned?
I'm so sorry?
How many resigned?
Can I get back to you with a complete list of that?
Sure.
It's going to take me a while to go through all this data.
So at this particular time, will this increase the elementary classrooms that we will be looking at? Because we originally had a high number.
Madam Superintendent?
Through the chair, as previously shared, the average class size at our elementaries is staffed at 21-1. That is the average class size. That has not changed.
So we're bringing people back, but we're not, look, with 13 elementary? What are the, so they would not be teachers?
No, they would be teachers. What is your question?
How many classrooms will we gain from 13 employees coming back?
So for clarity, when we're bringing people back, it's because we have students that we need to staff. So these are vacant positions that will be filled.
So we don't know the number of classrooms.
13 classrooms.
So it's 13 classrooms that are added to the classroom, because it's stated here on page 13 that we had reductions, and we had 45 in kindergarten to grade 6, and the class size was going to be 21. So if we bring back 13 employees under elementary, are we gaining classrooms out of that 45? And that
So remember,
45 now becomes 33?
So what is being confused in your statement are the actual positions versus what is being budgeted for. So the individual versus what is being budgeted for, those are getting conflated in your question. I'll let Mr. Allen speak to that further.
Mr. Allen?
Through the chair, there is no change yet in the number of classrooms, either at the elementary or secondary level. This is people being called back as we're processing more retirements and resignations than we had when we initially did the layoffs. So this is just filling positions already in the budget for people that have retired or resigned.
So there's no additional classrooms? We still have 45 classrooms that we'll be losing, correct?
Mr. Allen?
Through the chair, yes.
So what we're doing is just shifting numbers. We're not adding someone's retiring, so we're replacing that person. So that's a shift versus an add-on. It's not an add-on, correct?
Dr. Q?
Through the chair, this slide was for attrition, which really means it is replacing when people retire or we have resignations or vacant positions throughout the year. So this was never meant as an add-on, but just to show that as we had to non-renew folks for lots of reasons, we're recalling them back as we have vacancies.
So we're replacing, we're not adding on, so we're still at the same position we were originally, which is 45 loss of classrooms.